No mai, haere mai. Welcome to Puketewhero Park this afternoon for round 3 of the NZRL National Men's Premiership. Bay of Plenty against Otago. Bay of Plenty sitting in 6th position on the ladder. Otago in 3rd, and two teams that haven't quite found their rhythm in 2024, but plenty of quality in both of these teams across the park. Joining me in commentary this afternoon, former Kiwi, former Warrior, Cowboy and Dragons player Willie Poaching. Willie, welcome in.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having us. You're really excited to be here and witness another fantastic game of New Zealand Rugby League National Men's Premiership Provincial Rugby League here in Rotorua.
As I mentioned, Bay of Plenty, unfortunately, without a win through the first 2 games, a heavy loss to Counties Manukau in round 1. They went down 40 points to 0. And then last week in round 2, 42-24 against the Vulcans, although they looked good for the first 50 minutes or so. On the other side of the equation, the Whalers have gone 1-1. They won their first game against Waikato at 48-24 before losing in round 2 against Counties 35-18. And well, despite, like I said, them not finding their rhythm yet, either team, Willie, they have plenty of strike across the park.
Yeah, and a tough start to this competition for Bay of Plenty. They've come up in their first 2 games against the 2 teams that have really been the pace setters of this competition in the Vulcans and Counties Manukau. Otago, they got their season off to a fantastic start and a surprise to many in the fashion they beat Waikato in their first game, but last week it wasn't quite their game against Counties Manukau, a bigger set of players, more rugby league savvy I would say, but a spirited effort from Otago nonetheless.
Well, let's have a look at the other fixtures this weekend. Yesterday it was the Stingrays continuing their winning ways, 3 from 3 to start the competition against the Akarana Falcons. Bay of Plenty up against Otago today, and the Vulcans will play Waikato later on this afternoon. And there is the table for you. And you mentioned, Willie, Counties in Auckland, Vulcans, very much the 2 teams to beat.
Yeah, especially after yesterday's game between Counties Manukau and Akarana, where they got the win. They sit atop of the table now, and it's up to the rest of the chasing pack to keep pace with them.
Let's have a look at the team list for Bay of Plenty this afternoon. Kalis Putoko moves to fullback after playing in the centres last week. 2 try assists. They want the ball in his hands a lot more this afternoon. A familiar face in the 13 jersey, Blake Ashford, former Warrior, and in the number 11, Tony Matautia, the captain, and a stalwart of this team. Jeremy Siolepa, the coach this afternoon, and he joins us down on the sideline.
Well, Jeremy, you gave the Vulcans a good run last week. What's been the focus this week?
Yeah, last week was really good. I think our focus this week is trying to play that 80. We did really well for that first 40 last week against those boys, and then just let it go away in that last 40. So 80 is probably the goal today.
And injuries after that game?
Yeah, a few injuries after that game against those big boys. But we've got a bit of depth there in our squad, so a few boys make their debut today. So yeah, excited to see them play.
And your team stepped up into the top competition this year. Have you felt they've progressed?
Yeah, every week we're getting better, bro. We're improving each week, and we're starting to figure out the standard here. So the goal now is to try and stay up here, bro. So hopefully, we can do the right things to stay up here for the next year.
Awesome. All the best for the game today.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
And as we have a look at the lineup for the Otago Whalers, a couple of players will be really, really important for them this afternoon. Max Brown, the fullback. We talk about Putoko for Bay of Plenty and how they need to get the ball in their hands. Same for Otago. They need to get the ball in the hands of their fullback. Cameron Brown, who leads from the front in the 8 jersey, and Anstis in the 11, who played hooker last week, led so much of their spirit from the front. Never took a back foot. Look for him to lead the way again this afternoon. If they can string their 80-minute performance together, they'll go close this afternoon, Otago.
Last time these 2 teams met was back in 2017. Bay of Plenty took a 2-point win in the championship, and there's plenty of familiar faces for both teams still playing or involved. Jeremy Siolepa, who is the coach for Bay of Plenty, was the captain for Bay of Plenty in that game back in 2017. But lots of Whalers involved, and still coached, of course, by David Reddy as well. Good to see some loyalty, Willie.
Yeah, very much so. And still obviously showing some form that they showed a long time ago. And still willing to pull on the jersey and perform for their provinces, which is great to see.
Well, similar colours this afternoon. Otago wearing the stripes. They'll be playing from left to right with Bay of Plenty to receive. The referees this afternoon, Pucky Parkinson, the man in the middle with the whistle, with the ball on the tee, and expecting a close one between these two teams, looking to build some momentum through the 2024 season. So underway, and it is Otago with a kick, flirting with the sideline. Good effort to keep it in for Bay of Plenty, and they just bring it out, starting on their own 10. Into the hands of Jamin Pinkerton. Mohi Little back towards the middle, over their 20. Already Otago limiting the forward momentum of Bay of Plenty. Now a carry for Shortland over the 30. Third up now, Ashford. They decide to go to the left. A bit of miscommunication as it goes to ground. Scooped up by Leovite, and he runs across field before being taken down. Is still stuck inside their own 30, Bay of Plenty. As out of dummy half, they'll kick through Mohi Little towards the sideline. It's a great boot. In fact, it's just trickled over the 30 and found touch. So an interesting start to the match for Bay of Plenty on the attacking side.
Yeah, and it was a great kick out of dummy half, and it saved their set. They tried to play adventurous and shift the ball out to the left-hand side, but some miscommunication meant that the ball went to ground. They lost a lot of meterage, but the kick out of dummy half saved their blushes and got them up the other end of the field, which is where they wanted to be at the end of that set.
Well, you're right, Willie. They were struggling, but a great boot down towards the 30. That is where Otago start. Now pulled forward by Hagen Free, stuck on his 20. And a slow play the ball as well. From dummy half, they go through Ellison, spreading towards the right edge, and a half break through the line for Anstis. Now on halfway. Here's Siasua Whanua. Losing a boot in the process. Now Eli Ellison. Good pass out the back into the hands of Messina. Back on the inside, finds Fafita, who's dumped down shy of the 30. Suggestions from Otago of something illegal. Allowed to play on. Now they want to spread towards the right. Kick in the air from McKenzie. Underneath it is Potoko, and brilliantly held as he comes down on the 20. Going set for set, the two teams to start this match.
Yeah, nice kick from McEntee to get him in the corner. The poor chase on the back of it for Otago. Needs to get some numbers around, but Potoko was outstanding with his catch and his footwork, and gets the Bay of Plenty team already on the front foot.
Now here is Ashford with a run over halfway, driven backwards a few metres as he's stuck underneath. Now they're looking for space on the right edge. Flying up quickly into the line was Apaneru to cut off the attack. And now the penalty comes for Bay of Plenty inside Otago's half as well. And they'll get the first crack of the match through the first 3 minutes.
And that's unfortunate for Otago to concede that penalty. I thought they had a chance of winning a penalty when Messina was lifted. I thought he went past the horizontal, but Pucky Parkinson, the referee, felt it wasn't. Now they concede one. They're already on the defence on their goal line. And one area they really needed to pick up last week was their line speed in this area of the field and getting as close to the advantage line as possible. We'll see how they go and if their mindset has changed this week.
Well, they go towards the left side, and it's in the hands of Potoko, who wants to take the line on himself 8 metres away and just 5 in from that near touch. Now skipping away from dummy half. Levi gets tipped up, and that'll be called by referee Parkinson. Is there going to be trouble for Benjamin Latu?
And you just see he gets underneath him. Great shot initially, great technique. It was just the lift and the drive past the horizontal that made it dangerous and conceding the penalty.
They'll go at them again, this time through Pinkerton. Going out towards this right edge. Here comes the shape for them into the hands of Walters, and wrestled towards the sideline from Otago. Bay of Plenty still have it on the attack again. Ashford showing it and going himself 8 metres away. And wants to quick play the ball as well, Ashford. Now at a dummy half. Little then goes himself. Did he get that down? Referee says he knocked it on over the line, and Bay of Plenty's first opportunity goes begging.
Yeah, and a quick play the ball off that man, and you look to him to be the catalyst of a lot of good plays that they come up with. Bay of Plenty. Blake Ashford gets the quick play of the ball. It's the hook. Mohi Little getting out. Looked like for all money he would have scored that try, but Pucky Parkinson, the referee, was the closest man. He saw the knock on, and they get away with one Otago there.
Well, we saw last week Bay of Plenty very good through the first 55, 60 minutes against the Vulcans, Willie, before just crumbling in that final quarter. Is that a fitness thing? Is it a quality thing? You mentioned the Auckland sides. That can sometimes be the difference.
Yeah, it's an intensity thing. It's how the Auckland teams are used to playing it week in and week out, and something the rest of these teams will have to catch up, and they'll take a lot of lessons out of that and a lot of experience out of that.
Well, we'll see if it bodes well for them in this match, and the penalty now coming for Otago as they were threatening Bay of Plenty in their own half. So now they'll get the opportunity to attack the opposition line. Parkinson marshalling the mark on the 40. And McKenzie will get them some good field position. The work of Messina at the half break through the line, just bending the defence and winning his side the penalty. So now they'll go 20 metres out with the first carry through Fafita. He gets an offload away as well. Trying to step through here is Apineru, and he gets through half a tackle, and then we'll have to march back a couple of extras. Messina playing the dummy half role. Brown. 5 out now, Otago. Faking the inside line now. Here's the shape for them on the right edge. Pass over the top and wrestling towards the corner. To cut back inside was Tuimana. And the Bay of Plenty defence trying to recover. Quick kick out of dummy half. Not played at, so it's still in the tackle count for Messina, who wants to go himself towards the right edge. Messina pulled over the sideline. And great defence from Bay of Plenty. And though Parkinson saying the tackle was somewhat high.
Yeah, just lost their way a little bit of Otago. Great ball from McEntee to start with. To find Tuimana out on the right edge. Couldn't quite get to the corner. Found himself coming back, and Messina trying to look for some runners. They get another set and see how they mount their attack here.
Anstis with the first carry for Otago as they attack the Bay of Plenty line again. Here's Hagen free. Not interested in the offload, happy to take it to ground. Now at a dummy half, they skip through Allison. Back on the inside, he finds Brown, and Brown goes close. Pulled backwards by the Bay of Plenty defence. Ashford involved in the tackle as well. Allison again, spreading left. Messina, big looping pass over the top. Finds Manuaka, and now towards the left corner through Apineru. Great hands from Manuika. And Apineru will open the scoring for Otago in the 8th minute.
And the back-to-back sets, the workload just too much for Bay of Plenty defensively on their goal line. Again, they looked a little bit frustrated getting to the point where they needed to. Messina with a huge long ball out to the left. That's the one that found Manuika. He was too strong, found an offload to Apineru. He gets the first try for Otago. They lead 4-0 early doors.
Now the big looping pass from Messina, pinpointed into the hands of Manuika. And they'll have a chance to go 6 ahead. Otago, who haven't had trouble scoring in this competition. 48 points in round 1. They did score 18 against Counties in round 2, and that's hard to do. They open the scoring here in Rotorua. Jordan McKenzie to take the conversion for Otago. Deep from the sideline. Had a beautiful day for rugby league down here in Rotorua. Willie?
Yeah. And
no breeze as well.
And Puketoi Federal Park is a great setting to play rugby league. It's a beautiful park. And these guys will really enjoy themselves this afternoon. I'm just not sure if Coach Siulepa for Bay of Plenty is real happy with some of their contact and some of their tackles that they're missing here at this moment in time. Something they need to fix up.
Just pushed to the right from McKenzie. So the score remains 4 points to 0. Otago draw first blood here in Rotorua. Bay of Plenty just forced to defend a few too many sets, and probably, I want to say unlucky, but the tackle on Messina that was deemed high by Parkinson, dragging him over the touchline. It's one of those momentum swings where instead of getting the ball back, you got your opposition going on the attack, and it's ended in 4 points.
Yeah, exactly. They had him frustrated, had him playing away from their game plan. It was tackle 4. Only 2 more tackles to make, but they concede the penalty, which puts them back on the defensive load.
So Otago back in their own end, and a dodgy play the ball there, which referee Parkinson will say was Benjamin Latu's own fault. So now Bay of Plenty have a chance to reply straight away.
Yeah, it's a coach killer. Straight after points, you're looking to finish a set and then exert some pressure with field position down the other end and making the opposition turn around. But to concede a turnover on first tackle, we'll see how damaging that is in this defensive set for Otago now.
20 out, trailing by 4. Off the back of the scrum, they go out towards the right side. Dylan Shortland, first carry, brought down 15 away. And now marshalling his troops in the middle is Mitchell Pua. Now towards the left and back in towards the middle. Pinkerton sets it up for them in front of the sticks. Bay of Plenty. Options left and right, they go left. Here's Ashford, take a line on himself, Ashford, and he's only a metre away. Not able to wrestle the arm free and get it extended. Now on the left edge, and that is too easy for Matautia, the captain. The Otago defence forced to pull left to right, and Bay of Plenty answer right back.
Watched them closely in the warm-up, Bay of Plenty, and they were trying to get just outside the post. They couldn't quite get it to the set-up point that they wanted to. But about 5 minutes ago, they were in this position before, and the hooker Little went close, and it was on the back of a quick play of the ball by Blake Ashford. The speed of Blake Ashford to play the ball on that tackle there was the one that set up this play, and it got too quick for the defenders from Otago. They had an overlap, Bay of Plenty, just a little dummy to get the outside defenders turning outwards, and he just dives into the corner to equal up the scores. Nice play from Bay of Plenty, and it just comes back to that error on first tackle from Benjamin Latu. I spoke about how expensive that would be when they've paid in the biggest way.
Not Tony Matautia, the number 11, formerly with the Cronulla Sharks under-20 system a few years ago before COVID. Now their captain this afternoon, and Kalis Potoko to line it up for the extra 2 points. Similar kick for him as it was for Jordan McKenzie, his opposite. Oh, that's brilliantly struck from the young number 1. And they will go ahead. Bay of Plenty, 6 points to 4 through the first quarter of this match.
And a great strike. Again, we have a look. Blake Ashford plays the ball. Defender out of position. 3 on 2. Too much work to do for the defensive line of the Whalers. Bay of Plenty going for their first 4-pointer for the afternoon. A great kick from Putoko from the sideline. Starts it out right, swings it back in.
Oh, we were expecting a close game this afternoon between the two teams, and have jostled set for set so far. The errors and penalties, the key difference so far. And every game really important in this competition, Willie. You play each team once and then just the top 2 going through to the final. So there'll be nothing on the line for 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th. Every win important. And Bay of Plenty searching for their first of the year. They'll bring it back on the first carry. It's a decent run as well from Jamin Pinkerton. Happy to set it back up in the middle, this time through Holmes. From dummy half, Little exploits the right edge. Fending off one, Dylan Shortland, and getting rid of another as well as Parkinson's just going to say you were held in the tackle. 38 out from their own line. Bay of Plenty. Ashford through from Mitchell Pui out towards the left side. Matautia, the try scorer, wants a quick play the ball just before the halfway line. Getting it from dummy half, Leavai. And over halfway. Inside Whalers territory. Matautia into the hands this time of Morunga, who kicks it on the last, just off the side of the boot. It's going to be allowed to bounce and come back onto Bay of Plenty side. He might get another crack at it. Morunga, no, wants to run it on the last. Now a little kick over the top, and a brilliant kick as well. Man on the inside, and Ashford comes off an Otago hand. It's still alive. Ashford picks it up, doesn't keep his feet, and finally Morunga will touch down for Bay of Plenty. Well, that is haphazard final tackle stuff from Bay of Plenty, but they've got a 4-pointer from it.
That was the total opposite yardage set to what they started the game with. They started with a set where they weren't making many metres, and they put in a brilliant kick to finish it off. This set this time, they were making some fantastic metres, playing with some width. They shifted it out to the left again, got themselves to the 60-metre mark, and it was a poor kick to finish the set to start with. Then it was a bit of ad-lib play, recover, a great kick and chase from Taia, out on the wing, back to Ashford. He throws it back inside to Morunga to get Bay of Plenty's second try. And that's heartbreaking for Otago. They just conceded one again, and they're standing behind the sticks straight away in the next set.
Well, slow feet, fast hands, slow feet from Blake Ashford. He did get the ball away to Morunga, and
he only had 5 metres.
You'd think from that kick from Morunga that Bay of Plenty were going to be given the ball back on the halfway line. How they turned that into something, Willie, is quite remarkable. As Portugal will look to add another 2 points. They'll try and take the lead out to 8. A bit easier this time for young Kalis, and this one hits the post, so the score will remain 10 points to 4. Bay of Plenty leading Otago.
Yeah, great kick chase. Just an error at the back from Max Brown for Otago. The fullback regathered by Blake Ashford, and a nice easy put down. It looked like Ashford may have tripped himself up and falling down, but had presence of mind to get the offload away. We'll give him the benefit of that one.
Well, a few years in the NRL do that to your knees, Willie. Still trying to work out how his legs work in 2024, Blake Ashford, but the Otago team want to wrestle back a little bit of momentum here. They did start the game deep in the Bay of Plenty end, and just in the last 10 minutes, Bay of Plenty, it's been all them as it's fielded by Putoko. We said played in the centres last week, 2 try assists, a shift to fullback for this match, trying to get him a little bit more involved, and he already has been in this game. Now Ashford over the 30 for Bay of Plenty and gets an offload away, gets the arms free, and Pinkerton gets an offload away himself, but right in the line there was the number 5 for Otago, Manuika.
Structurally, I like what Bay of Plenty are doing when they're playing out in yardage. They're trying to go 2 pass and just get some width and isolate some defenders that aren't moving up as aggressively as the rest of the middle line. They got the advantage there, just an overplay and an offload, bringing an error. We saw what happened last time. They conceded a penalty down in this part of the field. We'll see if Otago can take full advantage and try and get another 4-pointer.
Cameron Brown, first carry for Otago on this set as they have a full set up their sleeves, attacking the Bay of Plenty line. Fafita, the second rower, inside the 10, and just to the left of the uprights from dummy half. Ellison finds his 13. Now it's on to McKenty. Shifts across to Max Brown, and his first real touch of the match for Otago as well. He's shy of the Bay of Plenty line. Spying something from dummy half was Ellison, but it closed up quickly on him. Anstis now playing the dummy half role. Free. So far the defence strong as the last tackle comes up for Otago. Ellison finds Messina. He'll go for the line himself. Messina, and it'll be a handover. Just meters out, Bay of Plenty hold on.
And they don't come up with a kick to finish with but where they turn over the ball is fine for Otago. They don't need to get frustrated here. They've got him in the right position that they want him. We'll see who's willing to put their hands up for Bay of Plenty and take these tough carries.
Oh, and that's a bad mistake from Bay of Plenty. Ashford has to clean up the scraps, and in his own in goal, he's pushed out over the dead ball line. So a bit of a poor pass from Bay of Plenty from dummy half, and Otago will be licking their lips.
It was a poor pass, but I just mentioned they were looking for people to put their hands up to see who was going to take the tough carries. There weren't too many people putting their hand up on that occasion.
Right, so a long drop out from Bay of Plenty down towards halfway. It's a decent kick as well, fielded by Cameron Brown. And the first carry for Otago as they go back towards the Bay of Plenty line. 10 points to 4, Bay of Plenty leading through the first quarter of this match. Out on the left edge now. Good pass as well from Apineru, and dodging through a couple of tackles and getting very close was Manuika. Apineru damaging on that left edge. Here's Messina close to the line. Dodgy play the ball. It's all okay. Now into the hands of Fafita. He gets the offload free too. Now here's Latu. They've got space on the right. Quick hands out towards this edge. Fonua out wide and into the right-hand corner goes Tuimana. And that is left to right stuff from Otago. And they'll bring the scores back to within 2.
Well, that's twice now that Bay of Plenty have conceded when they've either given a penalty away or had to defend back-to-back sets on their goal line. It was the play down the left-hand side between Manuika and Tuimana and Apineru. There was nothing doing. There was one man down the short side attacking-wise, but they nearly went on to score on that occasion. The wide shift out to the right-hand side, out to Tuimana. He went close earlier in the game, but he gets one now in the corner and draws them closer. 10-8. Big kick to come from McEntee out on this touchline to try and even it up. But nice play, nice patience. I mentioned how they just were happy to turn the ball over, not get frustrated, not get into the kick. And that was fine, and it's really paid off for them.
Well, tit for tat so far, Willie. They're trading tries, these two teams.
You mentioned it was going to be a close game, and that's how it's playing out here. This first quarter's been really tight. It's through penalties and a couple of errors that teams have got some field position advantage.
Really exploiting the edges, both teams, aren't they, as well, Willie? All 4 tries so far have been scored relatively close to the sideline. Makes it difficult for the kickers. Don't envy them at all as Jordan McKenzie tries to line one up from the opposite side as his first. Not going to draw the scores level with 18 to play in the first half. This one he pushes out towards the right, so it does remain 10 points to 8. Just turns to his teammates and says, boys, can you score under the posts next time, please?
Yeah, the kickers are really earning their crust this afternoon. I see Tuimana going in the corner. Smart play from the right-hand winger to get the ball in his right hand, keep it away from the defenders. Reach out. It's not quite a Dallin Martinez and Lesniak dive into the corner, but acrobatics nonetheless.
It doesn't quite have the hair as well to match the Warriors winger, but decent nevertheless, Willie, as we're back underway. And just wonder how the interchanges are going to play out as well, if there's going to be any impact in this last 15 minutes of the first 40. A few bodies starting to get a little bit fatigued. Otago in their own end. Oh, big hit put there on, I think it was Hagen Free, or maybe it was Anstis. Bit slow to get up, but he's on his feet. Now darting from dummy half is Ellison. Fonua finds Free, then shovels it on over the 40. Otago now. As quickly from dummy half, Ellison again. Now they've got space on the left side once more into the hands of Manuika. A man on the inside, a brilliant pass to Max Brown. And Otago go back-to-back on the first set off the back of points, and they'll take the lead once more.
Keenan Marcina take a bow. He's thrown a couple of long balls, and that was a peach of a ball from the big 5'8" out there. He finds his man, Manuika out. on his own on the wing, just runs into free space, draws in the fullback. Putoko, Max Brown, a wonderful play from the fullback, as they do, supporting up through the middle of the field. Takes it welcomely, his first try of the afternoon, and Otago hit back to take the lead. What a great response.
And this time the kick a little bit more favourable for McInty, so they listened. Well, I felt like he could have gone a bit further under the sticks, young Max Brown. Maybe just testing his number 7, giving him a challenge. So
small steps.
Looking to make it 14 points to 10, and the game really starting to open up as well. Oh, this time he adds the 2, McInty. 14 points to 10, and Bay of Plenty, 40 points to 0 in round 1 against Counties Manukau. Last week, 42 points to 24 against Auckland. So if you're Otago, you're thinking plenty of points on offer this afternoon.
And it's a couple of times Otago found some joy down their left-hand side of their attack. Found some holes in the right-hand edge of the Bay of Plenty defence. And look to them to keep peppering away and trying to find some space down that part of the field. But I think how things have been in this first 26 minutes, the scoreboard operators are going to be in for a busy, busy day.
Well, Connor Hohepa on for Bay of Plenty to take that kick off. It looks like a few changes for them as well, with Ariwati Brown on the field as well. Otago camped in their own end to put something together off the back of 2 tries. Allison in towards the middle to find his big men. Running a strong line there is Muasika off the interchange for Otago. So those bench players starting to find their minutes in the first half. Now Hagan free, 25 out from his own line. And now a quick kick from dummy half there from Allison, just trying to catch the Bay of Plenty defence retreating. Doesn't quite find the touchline, into the hands of Putoko, and his first real chance to take on the Otago line with a bit of space. They'll start about 45 out from their own line.
And Coach Reddy for the Otago side will be pretty happy with that set. The objective would have been just to try and get to the kick. They've had 2 kickoff sets where one they've come up with an error, one they've scored upon, and just trying to find the happy medium in between those 2. Nice kick out of dummy half. Now they've got to go to work defensively.
Well, here is one of the interchange players, Dylan Clark, and the ball goes to ground. It's going to be play on, and Otago having a rush back quickly. Max Brown pushed over the dead ball line. I'm not sure what happened there, Willie, but it was the number 16 for Bay of Plenty, Dylan Clark, who made half a break on that right edge.
Yeah, Bay of Plenty just looked like they found a one-on-one, found a half break, and then an offload back on the inside. From my first view, looked like it went to the head of one of his support runners. The Bay of Plenty players hit it with his head, so it's play on. And now I think that's how referee Paki Parkinson has seen it. The ball goes into the end goal. Max Brown gets pushed back.
Well, they want to go short. Didn't quite have the height on it, so Bay of Plenty will have it 25 out. Taken in by Mitchell Puia. Now into the hands of Daniel Holmes. We'll see if they can convert on this Bay of Plenty. So far, they've hit 100% in the red zone. Matautia, good step away from his man, and then gets the pass through to Leavai. And some nifty footwork on the left edge. Sees Bay of Plenty answer back. 14 points all with a kick to come.
Yeah, that's all too easy for Bay of Plenty. As it comes out to their left edge. And just McIntyre allowing the back row to skip on his outside. It was Matotia. It's a little right foot skip. Once he gets outside of his man, just draws the centre in. And Leavai too strong, too fast, and picks up another 4-pointer to tie up the game with half an hour gone. Putoko was very, very good from this part of the field with his last kick. We'll see if he's just as accurate with this one.
So Kalis Putoko, who is 1 for 2 so far today and hit one brilliantly from this area of the field after Bay of Plenty's first try. Maybe look to retake the lead as we approach the final 10 minutes before half-time. It's really a battle of the edges so far in this first 30 minutes, isn't it, Willie? That's where both teams are finding success. And the middles probably love that. Get a bit of a break when the wingers make a break.
Attacking wise, yeah, they're loving it. Defensively, not so. The middles are working overtime.
Oh, another fantastic kick from Putoko. This man can hit a ball off the tee.
And the middles are working overtime to stop all the momentum from the attacking side. The defenders on the edges on both sides need to come up with some better efforts and some better decisions.
(16-14), 10 minutes to play in the first half. 3 tries apiece and just the conversions separating them. And a decent restart deep and towards the Bay of Plenty end. Now a big storming run. Fired up off the back of points. And it's Caleb Lepau Gamlin. And now another break up through the middle. Good running here from the interchange players. Riwati Brown. But just a little bit ginger as he gets up 35 out from his own line. He's got a bit of strapping on that left knee as well. Now here's Matautia. Hohepa finds Ashford, who's been a little bit quiet in the last 10 minutes. Still inside their own half. Bay of Plenty as finally now they enter Otago territory. Hohepa nearly dancing his way through the line. Just brought down by Hagen Free, but he gets a good quick play of the ball, and now the number 7's dancing around. A pass out towards the left. Matautia, who's been devastating in this first half, gets an offload to Leavai. Back on the inside. It's still the last tackle. Hits a Otago foot into the in goal, and Brown's going to struggle to get out, although he does well. Bay of Plenty, some scintillating attack on this left edge.
Some adventurous attack. And look where they turn the ball over. That's a 100-metre set from Otago. And the impact and the impetus came from their boys that come off the bench. Some great work there from Lepaio and Rewati Brown to get them on the front foot in the first place.
And some good offloading too from Bay of Plenty. And Otago have it on their 20-metre line, just 7.5 in the first 40 to play. Free to play now, Ellison. They're going to kick early on and the count once more. This one's going to be close to the touchline. Stays in the field of play on the 40. Taken in by Tetevano, and this is really his first touch of the game as well. The Bay of Plenty number 5. Finally gets his touches as Leavai out of dummy half. Bay of Plenty back inside Otago's half.
They're doing a good job of finding their fronts. They've got to try and get a win here, Otago. There's no support on Putoko.
Now Ashford in the middle, back on the inside to his prop, Daniel Holmes. Once again, they set up in the middle, Bay of Plenty, with options right and left. They go left again. Matautia puts a little stab kick through. Leavai chasing. And Leavai just doesn't get there first. Brown covering across the fullback. And Otago survive.
Love it. Great kick from Matautia. The back rower, he's already showed his skill with his footwork and a sleight of hand. This time he shows he's got some footwork, a nice deft touch on it. Max Brown able to shield it and watch the ball just dribble over. Nice variation of play from Bay of Plenty.
Well, 6 minutes to play in the first half. Just a 2-point ball game between the 6th place Bay of Plenty and 3rd place Otago Whalers. And it's really taken some penalties, just as I say it. It's taken penalties to get Otago into the Bay of Plenty end, and they're going to get another opportunity here.
And as the substitute, Tofa Tuimuana Solia for Bay of Plenty. Just like the bench, as I mentioned, for Bay of Plenty, who have been very, very good. It's the benchmen for Otago who wins the penalty, get themselves on the 40-metre line, and they've been very, very good from this position of the field.
Muasika to play for Otago on the 30. Shifting back in towards the middle, but then out towards the left they go. Solia. Latu. Allison wants something from Parkinson with a slow play the ball. Now to the hands of Free. Here's the shape on the right once more. Good hands and out towards this right side. Just goes to ground as Tuimana open with no one in front of him on the right edge. A poor pass to him. And Otago not able to capitalise on this occasion.
Yeah, it was great lead-up play, especially from McEntee, to play to the line and find the space. And for Whanua, just a simple pass was needed. Too far in front of Tuimana on that occasion, and the try goes begging for the Otago Whalers.
Oh, now Bay of Plenty through Junior Taia, gets away from 3 or 4 off the deck as well as he plays at 35 from his own line. Final few minutes of the first half. The game's still tied on the scoreboard, although you'd say Bay of Plenty in the last 10 or so minutes have a lot of the momentum. Ashford from dummy half. Shortland. Now Hohepa. To the hands of Moronga. Matautia just terrorising this left edge and still going. Matautia. Leavai looking for the offload, but the captain holds it, and that is a penalty. Very slow to get up there was Eli Ellison, but perhaps doing his team a favour there. They were on the back foot big time.
The back row up. Matautia, Tony Matautia for Bay of Plenty. He's just starting to sense that he's getting some joy, and he's got the money over the halfback for Otago, the 7 McEntee. He's going to keep targeting him all day.
Mitchell Pure, 5 away from the Otago line. Now scooping out a dummy half, catching them all sleeping, Dylan Clark. And the Otago defence just struggling with the quick play the ball speed from Bay of Plenty. They strike again as we near the 40-minute mark.
That's another try in the game on the back of conceding a penalty or an error. See a Bay of Plenty shifted out to the right-hand side. Just a lot of lethargy in the defenders of the Otago side. And as you said, Dylan Clark, another one of the substitutes for Bay of Plenty, has an impact in the game, scoring a 4-pointer. And even though there's just over 2 minutes to play in the half, I'm not sure if we're done with scoring here.
Well, 7 tries in the game so far, Willie, and 7 different try scorers. So everyone wants a taste of the pie. As Potoko this time will kick from the right side. He's been doing well to bring it around from right to left on this other side, but what can he do on this occasion? Maybe a bit of a left to right, a little banana.
And they'll be kicking themselves for that missed opportunity down the other end, where Tuimana could have just walked in. They could have possibly taken the lead into half-time, but I'm sure that'll be a discussion point for the Whalers when they go into the dressing rooms.
So Putoko, just the 1 miss so far off the post. Learns from it this time and nails it through. 22 points to 14. Bay of Plenty, who really have stepped up in the last 15 or so minutes of this first half. Otago had all of the possession and the territory through the first 10 or 15, but they've wrestled it back, Bay of Plenty, and looking to go into half-time with a lead. We'll probably only get another set or two for each team. A few tired bodies.
Yeah, they're in no rush, are they? The Whalers, to get this game restarted. Happy to see out the half and get into half-time, get a drink, try and refresh, re-energise.
So we'll only get a couple of tackles in before the half-time siren sounds. Heavy running as well from Lupaio Gamlin. Now Holmes. Hohepa quickly from dummy half to Ashford. Back on the inside to Lupaio Gamlin. Hohepa again. Holmes pushing towards halfway. There is the half-time siren. And referee Parkinson blows his whistle on the first 40 minutes. And after a back-and-forth tussle, it is the Bay of Plenty Lakers leading the Otago Whalers 22 points to 14. Time at Puketewhero Park in round 3 of the NZRL Men's Premiership. It is the Bay of Plenty Lakers, 22 points to 14 over the Otago Whalers with tries aplenty in the first 40 minutes. Let's have a look back on how it all played out in the first half.
And Otago were the ones that opened up the scoring. It was Masino with his ball playing skills with the long ball out to the left-hand side. They open up the scoring through Apineru. Manuika, too strong, finds a nice offload to his centre. And they go in first to go 4-0 early doors.
Well, Bay of Plenty replied almost straight away. The captain, Tony Mataltia, who has been devastating on this left edge, crossed over just a couple of minutes later.
And then after a really good yardage set, Bay of Plenty didn't get any purchase on the kick that they would have liked to. They were forced on a little bit of ad-lib play There's a chip and chase. A little bit of mess up from the defensive side of Otago. Max Brown couldn't collect it. Blake Ashford gets the ball, a nice little offload, tripping himself over. Ashford finds an offload and a try there to Morunga.
And just when Bay of Plenty thought they were starting to get on top of them, Otago came back down the other end. It was a few repeat sets, quick shift out towards this right edge, and a great interplay between Whanua and Manuakia. And Otago get another one.
And it's that man Marcina again, who's playing in the 6th position but with the 22 jersey. Finds a nice open space there for Manuika to fly down, and Max Brown gets his try, his first one for the day.
And this is when Bay of Plenty did start to claw back their momentum. Matautia linking up with his centre, Lea Veit. Bay of Plenty answers straight back. And then they go again just a few minutes later, this time through Dylan Clark. And getting the lead back at half-time. Some good kicking as well from Kalis Putoko. And that's what's given the lead. What's been the difference for you through the first 40 minutes, Willie?
They're making a lot more metres when they're carrying the ball, Bay of Plenty. They're making more use of their opportunities when they're in control of the football. If they can fix up their discipline, then they'll minimise the opportunities that Otago get, because that's the only way that Otago are getting down the field is through errors and penalties that Bay of Plenty are coming up with. I think a big talking point for both coaches will be defence. Obviously, both teams leaking a lot of tries, and a lot more than what the coaches will be happy with. Some of that will be their contact, some of that will be their organisation, and when the teams are missing tackles, they're on the back foot, and the opposition is scoring tries. So a big talking point will be fix up your D, and they'll go a long way to winning this game.
Well, a close game at half-time. Let's hope for another close 40 minutes coming up right after this. Kia ora and welcome back in. The second half about to get underway between the Bay of Plenty Lakers and the Otago Whalers. It is round 3 of the NZRL Men's Premiership. Bay of Plenty looking for their first win of the season. Otago looking for number 2. And we have an 8-point ball game heading into the second half. What are you expecting, Willie? Can you give me a prediction for the second 40 minutes?
I think it'll be a lot like the first one. There'll be a flurry of tries through both teams. Attack is a real focus. Not a lot of focus on the D side of it. I expect Bay of Plenty to come home and score a couple more than the Otago side. But interesting that Otago came out quite late and Bay of Plenty were out quite early. And probably a reflection that the coaching staff for the Bay of Plenty side are quite happy with how they were in the first half.
Otago wearing the striped blue and yellow, with Bay of Plenty in the more solid colours, but very similar. And if the last couple of games for Bay of Plenty are anything to go by, the last 20 or 30 minutes could be lethal for Otago if they can exploit that. As an early penalty in this second half called by referee Parkinson. And straight away, Otago will have the chance to get back into Bay of Plenty's end.
Yeah, they found some joy down that left-hand side, as I mentioned in the first half, through Marcina. They go down the short side this time through McEntee on that right edge for Otago. It runs a little second-man play. And the referee's seen that someone's been held back. And these, in the first half in particular, these were troublesome times for Bay of Plenty when they conceded penalties down this part of the field.
So Latu for Otago, 33 away from the Bay of Plenty line. Shifting from dummy half now through to free and out towards the left edge. Caught well by Manuika.
Loves a long ball, Marcina.
Parkinson just marshalling him back. Manuika. Now here is Messina. Sometimes you don't know whether he's playing half or front row, Willie, as he goes through a couple here. Messina close to the line, and he might have got there. No. They're going to say a double movement close to the line. Keenan Messina is tearing apart that Bay of Plenty defence.
And that's one of his dangers. He's thrown long ball, and then when he has the threat to run, he's a powerful carrier of the football. Throws a couple off. 3, throws Blake Ashwood at 4, 5, 6, and goes real close. Unfortunately for the young man, he was short and tried to steal a couple of metres. Bay of Plenty, they've missed touch.
Wow. Oh, and a knock on there from Messina, so 2 errors for him. I was just noticing in that last play, Ashford giving it to the number 14, Caleb Leopold Gamlin, but Ashford himself wasn't too sharp on the tackles, Willie, so fatigue will set in for both teams. And the missed tackle count will definitely increase. For now, Bay of Plenty have a scrum feed 30 out from their own line.
A big concern already, especially for the Bay of Plenty side. And as I mentioned at half-time, a talking point would have been the defence and the one-on-one tackles in particular that they have to make. Not a lot of it on show there. We've got to fix that up for the rest of this half.
Well, Hohepa on. He came on for Mohi Little, who started the game in the hooking role for Bay of Plenty, maybe just taking the sting out of the Otago legs. And now Connor Hohepa, the usual starter, back in his role as Holmes meets a sturdy tackle on the halfway line. Now they'll spread it through the hands. Morunga dancing across and a good offload away from Morunga into Shortland's hands. Now on this right side, Paia. Men on the inside as well. Good pass back in the middle, but it goes to ground. And now Otago might just come back the other way. Anstis skipping his way through a couple. Going out towards the right edge this time, Bay of Plenty.
And both teams ruining missed opportunities to score, throwing those opportunities away, and to double the missed time pass. They concede a penalty now, so close to halfway. You'd imagine that Otago will find themselves in the Bay of Plenty half of the field. And talk about turning a defence into attack. A wonderful play from Otago, and again, somebody misses touch.
And now here is Putoko with a bit of room to move, taken down on the halfway. How costly will these sorts of mistakes be in the second half? We will wait and see, but for now, Lepau Gamlin on the 40 for Bay of Plenty. Hohepa dancing across. Ashford spies a gap and gets the arms free, but still going. Ashford pulled down from behind, and it's a strong tackle on him. Finally, Hohepa skips from dummy half on the 10. Right underneath the Otago sticks, threatening the line. Ashford going from dummy half himself. Gets a good pass free. And strolling in is Vincent Moronga. Ashford involved in everything on that set as he wound back the clock. And Bay of Plenty go ahead even further.
And that was just all about it. Quality and experience from Blake Ashford. Patience in the lead-up play to this. He had a couple of opportunities to try and offload the ball. Felt comfortable to hold it and get a quick play of the ball, which is what he's done all afternoon. And then the ensuing plays, skipping out to his left-hand side, draws in the defenders and finds his 6 in Vincent Moronga. Patiently waiting. He's already set him up for one try this afternoon. He sets him up for his double. Well played. And nothing less than what you'd expect of someone of the experience of Blake Ashford.
I might be auditioning for the number 9 role, the way he snuck out of dummy half there, Willie. He's basically played everywhere else during his rugby league career. Why not throw him in the number 9 jersey, as Kalis Potoko will have a chance to extend the lead. He's 3 from 4 and kicking very, very well, particularly on this left side. He likes to draw it around, so can he do it again here? Doesn't look like much wind around either, so all down to the technique. I said, you know, how much will they be ruining those mistakes through the second 40? We will wait and see, but already, you know, Otago don't kick the ball out, Willie, as you mentioned, and Bay of Plenty straight away make them pay.
There was a missed try to Tuimana in the first half. The poor pass on the inside from Whanua. And then they go and knock the ball on after Bay of Plenty mistouch. Then they mistouch themselves. When we talk about moments in the game, those are big moments where they're letting the opposition off the hook. And you see Ashford skip out, just gets McEntee turning, biting hard. And he's saying there's nothing he could do as a defender. Just smart play from the experienced number 13 for Bay of Plenty. 2
tries for Vincent Moronga this afternoon, and wow, even Keenan Messina with that double movement as well. Well, you know, you talk about swings. That's one of those 12-point plays we talk about. A missed try down one end, try at the other. And 28-14, a 14-point lead for Bay of Plenty, but they were leading the Vulcans last week, as we're going to get a penalty straight away for players in front of the kicker.
And I like it. I like the penalty from the referee, because not enough referees, I feel, pull this up. This happens week in and week out with kick chases, float in front of the kicker. Just a fundamental part of the game that we neglect and take for granted, but well done, Paki Parkinson, for pulling it up, and rightly so.
Well, Bay of Plenty, right off the back of scoring points, will go at them again. This time they start through Holmes. He's been through some good work this afternoon, Daniel Holmes, the prop. Ashford, who's got a bit of confidence about him now. Over the 30. And a quick play the ball as well. Hohepa exploiting the short side. Matautia. Quick away from dummy half is the centre, James Leavai, and he's getting close as he drags a few Otago defenders with him. He'll be 2 or 3 away as Hohepa shapes towards the right side. Ashford catches it low. Stepping out of the tackle, Mitchell Piua. And last tackle up for Bay of Plenty. Just a few metres out. Hohepa might go himself. He does, and he's going to get pushed backwards. So this time Otago hold on, but Bay of Plenty won't be unhappy with where they've ended up.
Now we saw a similar situation where Otago turned the ball over on this try line in the first half. Bay of Plenty have got to get the mindset to go to work and be aggressive here to make the most of that field position.
Pineru, the first carrier for Otago. Muasika, about 13 or 14 away for Otago. They haven't had a lot of momentum leading into that halftime break and also coming out of it as well. They've been pinned down this end of the park. Now Allison. Messina over the 30, and a quick scoop as well by Allison, who shapes up the defence, wants to call them offside. Apinedo will have to step in and play the hooking role. Messina again, they're going all the way out towards the right edge now. McKenty. Now really throwing it around now, Otago, and they've found some space up through the middle. It's free, and they pass on the outside. Ellison's going to get it. Players chasing him down. He has no one to pass to. Eventually, they find Muasika, and it's still the last. And how have they pulled this off, Otago? Sosio Whanua, it was the last tackle, and they've gone 55 metres to score their first points of the second half.
And a great run play on that last tackle. You see the wingers drop back. There's a fragmented line defensively from Bay of Plenty. They almost run out of ideas, but Whanua heads back on the inside. It comes into the hands of Free, finds an offload. Backing up, I thought this is where they got into trouble when Allison threw it back inside. But the substitute, Muasika, and it's that man who started it all, Whanua, backing up through the middle, staying alive. Another 4-pointer for Otago. Right next to the sticks, you expect them to kick this one over to make it 28-20. But this is the moment in the game. This is a big one for Bay of Plenty because they were really good for the first 15 minutes against the Vulcans last week. And this is when the tide started to turn. And we've got to try and kick on. We spoke about the importance for the Bay of Plenty Lakers to play for 80 minutes. That's what they've got to try and focus on this week, and Otago will know about that. They'll be trying to finish this game and finish this last half an hour as strongly as possible.
I just wonder as well, Willie, if a bit of a message for Otago there was to just throw it around a little bit to catch the Bay of Plenty defence out of sorts. It was those sorts of plays in the first half where, you know, a quick spread towards the edge, getting overlap numbers, and the Bay of Plenty defence maybe just not quite as efficient as adapting when the play gets a little bit haphazard.
Yeah, and it can cause some trouble. Both teams have become victims when the opposition has thrown the ball around, and they didn't quite push as hard as the coaching staff for the Otago side would have liked. Tori Mana was left wanting when Allison was looking for his left winger to try and play to, had to come back on the inside. But the ad-lib stuff has been really, really dangerous and hurt the defences of both sides.
Oh, you talk about difficulties as a coach. You spend all week training a structured defence, and then you get something like that thrown at you. I don't think you can really plan for it. And Otago draw the scores a little bit closer as we enter the final 28 minutes or so, and right off the back of points, they've got the penalty here as well. And Bay of Plenty a little bit guilty of that in the second half already. It's the third penalty they've given away inside the 40. Just giving Otago a free pass to get out of their own end.
Spoke about discipline and errors. The first tackle penalty. A few questions about their mindset when they're having to defend here. Comfortable to play with it. A lot of reliance on Blake Ashford to lead them when they've got the ball. They need some other leaders to put their hand up defensively here.
So first tackle on halfway, Muasika playing it. Now Messina, pass back on the inside, finds Solia. A try here for Otago really would just turn momentum back in their favour, entering the final stages of the second half. Now out towards the right edge, McKenty finds Brown, and he ran out of space on the right edge, Brown, and he's done well to get away and stay in the field of play. Lying on top of him, Morunga, who scored 2 tries this afternoon for Bay of Plenty. Now, Anstis getting dragged backwards round the collar. Good tackle from Hohepa, the replacement hooker for Bay of Plenty. Now free. Messina, long pass out towards the left. He loves doing it, and a good play, but dropped cold. And now Bay of Plenty want to come away with it down this right edge. Nearly breaking free was Junior Taya. And a mistake for Otago. They're retreating at a rate of knots with Bay of Plenty hot on the attack. Now stepping his way through the middle and getting away is Putoko over the 40. Otago really struggling to get back here. Bay of Plenty, they've also brought back Mohi Little onto the field in the hooking role. Hohepa's out there as well, though. Now it's the starting props, Pinkerton. Now on the left edge, Dylan Clark back on the inside. Good pass that finds Little. 5 away, and Bay of Plenty have gone all the way down the other end. Hohepa through the hands, Morunga. Out towards the left side, into the hands of Leo Vai. Good tackle on him. 6 or 7 away. Last tackle up for Bay of Plenty. They go short side. Matautia going himself, getting close. Matautia now held up, gets the offload away, and Bay of Plenty going through Ethan Tetavano. He hasn't had a lot of touches this afternoon, but he's made them count. And Bay of Plenty get it back. 32 points to 20.
They decided to go to the left-hand side and shift, but they cut out Matautia to start with, who's been their danger man on that edge all afternoon. And they miss him on the first opportunity. He gets into dummy half, decides to take him on down the short side. Too strong. Matautia finds Tetavano. And he gets his first of the afternoon. Another try to the Bay of Plenty side to stem that momentum that Otago were building up.
Yeah, you mentioned, Willie, the game almost sort of in the balance after that last Otago try. How are Bay of Plenty going to respond, given what we saw last week against the Vulcans around this point of the match? Well, a 12-point lead for now, potentially 14 if Putoko can nail another one. He has kicked very well off the tee, and sometimes you look at these sorts of games and this can be the difference. 4 from 5. He'll try bend it around from right to left again. Hugging that far touch. And Bay of Plenty, they've brought back some of the starters on as well. Willie Pinkerton's come back on in the front row. They've brought back in the starting hooker, Mohi Little. Connor Hohepa's still out there, though, so they want his experience, his ball playing somewhere on the park. Just trying to keep the legs fresh, Coach Jeremy Siolepa for Bay of Plenty. He gets good crowd silence in Rotorua here. Putoko, that one he just hooks a little bit too much to the left. The score will remain 32 points to 20 as we get close to the final 20 minutes.
This is the play. When they cut out Matautia. They decide not to use him, whether that was as a foil, but he gets into dummy half, spots an opportunity. He's been all over McEntee all afternoon, and that time just too strong. Just that presence of mind, Tetavano, presence of skill to regather the ball and put it down and post 4 points. There's still a lot of time for Otago. They've got to pick themselves up. And 22 minutes left. Still a lot of points left in this game. And you talk about the starters being back on. The bench was very, very effective. The bench was outstanding for the Lakers. The likes of Clark and Erwiti Brown. Connor Hohepa is still out there. Carried strongly this afternoon.
Well, a try for Dylan Clark off the interchange. Like you mentioned, Willie, has been a big difference. And here he is now, the big man busting through a hole and gets a pass away to his number 9, Mohi Little. Just didn't have any other inside runners. How about that from Dylan Clark, streaking down the right-hand touch. Now into the hands of Mitchell Biwa. Dances his way around. Bay of Plenty searching for yet another here in the second half. Out of dummy half, Hohepa just dropped as they threaten the line. That was Erwiti Brown, and I tell you what, there haven't been a whole lot of knock-ons in this game, Willie, through 60 minutes.
No, there haven't. There have been some errors in the play of the ball, but knock-ons and tackles, especially with when you think about how freely the teams have been playing, how many offloads have been thrown. They're throwing the ball around and to control the ball and not come up with many errors through those knock-ons that you're talking about. It says quite a bit about the skill level of some of these gentlemen out here playing.
Yeah, and both teams have been guilty over the first 2 rounds of coughing up possession a little bit too cheaply with errors, and coaches have talked about that. So they'll be happy at least with how that's tracking here. And perhaps why it's so high scoring. Both teams been able to hold on to the ball. Otago, though, camped in their own end.
I'll just go back to that knock-on, and I've pinpointed that Matotira has been going at him all afternoon. It was McEntee that came up with the shot from marker. Just stepped out, nice right shoulder shot, forced the error. So when he gets his body in front, he's a more than a capable defender.
Final stanza here at Puketewhero Park is a bust up the middle from Troy Anstis. Nearly took on the whole Bay of Plenty team himself, but has put his side in great field position as they go out towards the right edge. And here are the numbers. A pass, it's just ill-timed and goes to ground. That will be called by Parkinson. They had the numbers there. Willie just not able to execute.
Yeah, it was McEntee. You can see he's trying to engage the defenders. And as they're playing off, he just needed to stay a bit square rather than run overs and run his attackers out of space. Touch is getting involved. He may have seen something different to what the referee's seen.
Yeah, I think it came off the head of Max Brown, and then Bay of Plenty knocked it on when they tried to regather it. So it is going to be Otago's scrum, 30 out from the Bay of Plenty line.
I'll go back to, he just needed to square up and preserve that space rather than run his runners out. The support men just ran out of room. They'll get some joy, they'll get that opportunity again.
Here is Brown, the fullback for Otago. Slow play the ball, but they're in good field position, Otago. Now here's the 23, Fafita, and he gets away from 2 of them. Wanted to get the offload away as well. Just couldn't find a man free. Now Anstis playing dummy half. Latu. Right in front of the sticks. Can the Bay of Plenty defence hold on? Anstis again. Right edge this time. A pass on to Brown. Off his right foot and threatening, but has he lost it? I think he has. Parkinson calls it. And I've definitely jinxed this match, Willie, because in the last 3 minutes we've had 3 knock-ons.
Yeah, an opportunity gone. Another one for Otago as they shoot out the right-hand side. It gets into the man, and he's looking dangerous, Max Brown, as we know he can be. Just with his size, his power, and his pace. Just the ball comes free as he's close to the try line. And that can take some confidence out of the carries of the big men, Fafita and Latu. Just beginning to get them a roll on to allow the halfbacks to play and get on the front foot.
Out Leovai has it for Bay of Plenty. Now Tetevano. Spreading it out towards the left. Ariwate Brown still on the park for Bay of Plenty. Little surveys the defence in front of him. Will find his middle man. This time it's Pinkerton. 3 Otago players wrapping him up. Eventually brought down over the halfway. Now Hohepa was looking for a bit of shape, but didn't have players off him. Straight into the hands here of the right winger, Tuimana. He's trying to break free, but he's pushed backwards. And a good kick chase there from Bay of Plenty to pin Otago deep in their own end.
And there haven't been a lot of those either. Kick returns. Neither team have really completed at a high level. There's not really been an arm wrestle in the game. And both teams willing to throw the ball around, take their chances, and even happy to finish with a tackle on last play.
Just over 15 minutes to play in this match, and the fatigue will well and truly set in here as the offload finds the hands, this time of Apineru. Was he held before he caught it? As referee Parkinson blows the penalty.
Yeah, nice show and go from McEntee, just poking his nose through the defensive line. A little bit of a left-hand offload, And it looked like Apineru was just held back here. Shortland, the back row for Bay of Plenty, just getting a hold of him before he caught the ball.
Well, a try here for Otago does set us up for a grandstand finish as Anstis, who seems to be playing the dummy half role now after starting in the second row. Jacob Day on the field for Otago as well. Anstis, big looping pass towards the middle. The number 7, McKinty. And towards the middle, strong run, close to the line, just pull backwards, Cameron Brown. Players lying down all around him as well. Anstis, strong out towards the left edge, wrapped up in the tackle. Plenty of Bay of Plenty jerseys, gets an offload away though, it comes free now. Brown has it, stepping, dancing, taken 5 away. He signals out towards the right edge, it's the last tackle, they'll go short side, back they go on the inside, but it was well read by Bay of Plenty. And a turnover on tackle 5, just as they were close to the line. Otago not able to find the chocolates.
And Bay of Plenty showing some urgency to sort their defensive line out, get in their start points, get in position to defend the next play. And just showed a little bit more energy than the attack of the Otago side. I thought Otago could play a little bit deeper and bring out the defensive line. We're all after quick plays, but sometimes that quick play can stifle some of your organisation.
Oh, big set here for Bay of Plenty to try and get out of their own end. They can't afford to invite Otago back in as Tetavanok plays it over his 20. Skipping out a dummy half quickly as Moronga trying to catch the Otago defence offside. He's met by a strong hit put on by the number 10, Benjamin Latu. And now Leavai towards halfway. This has been a good set for Bay of Plenty to get out of their own end. Now on the last, a kick high from Moronga. High and down underneath it, dropped by Brown at the back and straight away called by Paki Parkinson. I said it was an important set, Willie. Well, it's ended with Bay of Plenty getting the ball back 15 out from the Otago line.
You can see they've shown a little bit of change of mentality in their attack. To just be happy to grind down the clock. That's 2 in a row now they've completed with long kicks and get some reward by an error from Max Brown, the fullback for Otago. Now they've got to defend their goal line. If they can preserve this 12-point difference through this set, they give themselves a chance with 13 minutes left on the clock.
Well, Bay of Plenty off the back of the scrum towards the right edge. Evading the first defender, Mitchell Piua. And Ashford will step in to play the number 9 role. Now Hohepa, good step from him. Gets an offload free, goes backwards. Ashford has it. Takes his man on one-on-one, Ashford, and gets close to the line. He's deceptively strong as he takes 3 defenders with him. Now out of dummy half, Little. Eyes up the left side. Matautia, the left edge still strong. Matautia going himself. And the captain gets his second try. Extends the Bay of Plenty lead. It'll be 36-20 with just 12 and a half to play.
And he's been dangerous all afternoon and threatening every time he's got the ball. I mentioned the last time they were down here, they threw a cutout pass and missed him out. And this is the importance and why they need to get it in his hands. I thought they may have got away with one, Bay of Plenty, in some of the lead-up play. Whether there was an obstruction and a defender taken out, I'm not too sure. But when it gets in the hands of this man, he's so dangerous and so strong. A great captain's knock from Tony Matautia out on that left edge for the Bay of Plenty Lakers, and they extend their lead. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, with 12 minutes to go, 16 points is the gap now on the scoreboard. Could be 18 with this kick. Might be a little bit too much for Otago from here.
Well, they started the second half well, Otago, and did look like they might find their groove. Willie, what do they need to try and get right in the next 11 and a half minutes or so if they want any chance of clawing this game back?
I bring it back to what we mentioned at half-time. Defensively, they're not having any issues carrying the ball. I feel like Latu and Fafita in particular in the right areas of the park, and getting them on that momentum, get them on that roll on, get the defensive line of the Bay of Plenty side on the back foot. And if the likes of Anstis and McEntee and Messina are able to get some depth and organise some plays off the back of it, they'll definitely score some more points.
So,
but in scoring points, they've got to stop Bay of Plenty as well. So the focus has got to be defensively too.
Yep, they haven't done a good job of defending that line through the first, or through the 70 minutes so far, as Putoko looking to add 2 more, and he does. So 18 points the margin, 3 converted tries needed for Otago if they want to stop Bay of Plenty from getting win number 1 of the 2024 season. Now, they have played some of the more difficult teams to open their campaign, Bay of Plenty, starting with Counties, who probably are the competition favourites alongside Auckland. Both teams are undefeated, so good run of games coming for Bay of Plenty. They might finish the season up towards the top. They've got some quality in them. As the restart from Otago, they've regathered it, and Parkinson's okay to let it play. Manuika was the man who came down with it, and now they have it through Fafita. They'll need to score quickly if they want to claw this game back. Carry from Latu, and Ashford holding the nose or the mouth. Might have just got hit slightly high. Running across field, McKenzie into the hands of Muasika. Only a metre shy now, Otago, as they take on the Bay of Plenty line. Anstis towards the right side. Quick pass to Brown. Brown fighting through, but good, strong, resolute defence from Bay of Plenty. This will be the last for Otago. A metre out. They need points. They're desperate for them. McKenzie, a kick into the in goal. A good bounce as well, and scooped up brilliantly by the number 19. And Otago do have the points they were looking for to get a 4-pointer. 9 minutes to play. It's 38 points to 24 and a kick to come.
And you throw the risk when you go a short kickoff, but it all paid off for Otago as they recovered the ball first and went straight on the attack. And as I mentioned, it was the carries of Fafita and Latu. They got them in the right parts of the field. Thought there were some opportunities for Anstis to probably have a dive, but McEntee with the kick gets a bit of a curl on it. Too much for the tired legs of Ashford to clean up. The fullback was in no position either. And this kick right next to the post. We could be looking at the scoreboard being 12 points the difference, and still an opportunity if they can construct a really good attacking set here. The Otago Whalers.
Well, perhaps too busy focusing on the hot dogs down the other end, Blake Ashford, as that ball trickled by him. You'd mentioned the fullback nowhere in position, but you'd think that the Bay of Plenty number 13 would have been able to turn the legs quickly. We'll just see it here again. Maybe got a little bit too comfortable in his own in goal, Blake Ashford. Anyway, it's 38-26, so 12-point game. Inside the final 10 minutes, just 8 to go. It'd be pretty remarkable if they could pull this off, Willie, considering how most of this game has gone in favour of Bay of Plenty.
Yeah, they'll be really disappointed regardless. Bay of Plenty, they'll be happy to get their first win if that's to be the case. But they'll be disappointed that they've just allowed the opposition to come back into the game when they've had the longer periods of control. And still got 7 minutes left. To minimise the effect, the control that, and the momentum that Otago are trying to construct and put together here.
Big set for both teams then, with 7 minutes to go. Otago wanted to bring it back to within 1 converted try. Bay of Plenty want to hold on. It would be their first win of the 2024 NZRL Men's Premiership. Here's a storming run up through the middle from Jacob Day. Maybe a bit of confidence about Otago now as well, as Anstis then finds Muasika. And he goes over halfway. The Bay of Plenty defence now struggling to contain the metres. From dummy half, they go left now. McKenzie just lost a bit of shape there, but still running hard was Cameron Brown. 30 away on the last tackle. McKenzie needs something, a little chip over the top. Brown is in there, bounces favourably for him. Brown needs to get the arms free, gets free himself. Max Brown, oh, he just needed to get the pass away because he's going to be held up centimetres from the Bay of Plenty line, and they hold on.
Yeah, McEntee decided to kick on the inside, but I thought it was the pass. He had done enough to draw the A defender across, and there was a space, I thought, for him to pass inside to Max Brown. He decided to kick, but it was still regathered. And even then, I thought Max Brown probably had a chance to pass on the inside. Nice attack from the Otago side, putting some pressure on Bay of Plenty. We'll see what their response is for this last 5 minutes.
Well, they have it on their 20, Bay of Plenty, and just trying to keep the ball in hand. The number 10, big hit put on Daniel Holmes there.
10 on 10.
10 on 10, Benjamin Latu putting the meat into him. Now a good little chip over the top from Moronga. Is he going to get a favourable bounce? He does. Had a man on the inside. Couldn't find him. It was Ethan Tetavano, and he's pulled over the sideline. Vincent Moronga. And Otago, they've got 5.5 to score 12 points.
They need to speed up. They need to get to the scrum and get it set and try and stop the clock and use as much time as they can.
Well, we saw a 4-point ball game yesterday. Counties Manukau over Akarana, 36-32. Could be in for a grandstand finish if Otago can find points in the next 1 or 2 minutes. Latu, they'll need to speed up the attack somewhat here. Muasika.
And just interesting, those first 3 plays where there's 1 out carries, they've got to make every play an opportunity and try and support, get that offload game that they've had, that's worked for them this afternoon. That's been dangerous to the defensive line of the Bay of Plenty side. The 1 out carries more than welcomed by the defensive line.
Right, well, they've got a full set of 6 here to go at the Bay of Plenty line. They're only 15 away. That one's awkward, but it's well scooped up by Muasika.
Scared me when he dummied for that kick.
Well, might have got his licence revoked on tackle too if that was the case. Here is Anstis. Finds Brown in the middle. Latu. And it's just a sense that Otago might pull something off here as they spread it out towards this left edge. Anderson finally allowed to play the ball. They'll go short side, flirting with the touchline, doing well to stay in. And a slow play the ball from Apineru. Now, crash play for Fita. Gets an offload away. Little stab kick through by the number 9. It's too deep as well from Allison. And a little bit clunky the attack for Otago just when they needed it. And now Bay of Plenty, they've got to get back quickly because Tetavano wants to threaten them.
And a poor set finish for the Otago side when they had a full set to attack the line and time on their side, and every second's ticking away is going to count against them. And Bay of Plenty more than happy to see that ball trickle over the dead ball line.
A lot of tired legs out there. Interchanges all dried up. 3 minutes to play in the match, and it's been end-to-end for the last 7 or 8 minutes. Now, Hohepa, Ashford, just a slow delivery. And now Otago come away with it, and they might streak away. I'm not sure anyone's home. Running away is Manuaka. Ashford covering, but Manuaka's going to go all the way down. Wants to go under the posts. That's good tracking back from Ashford, who can't stop the 4-pointer, but does make the kick a little bit tougher for Otago, who have indeed set this up for a grandstand finish.
And just trying to shift out here when I thought they just needed to focus on trying to finish the set, but an error there from Shortland on the right-hand side of the Bay of Plenty attack, more than welcomely taken from Manuika. Shows a clean pair of heels, but that's a big, big chase by Blake Ashford. That's a big-time play, especially if Otago are to miss this kick. He's made it a really difficult effort to keep Manuika as far out as possible. That's a big-time play from Blake Ashford.
Well, still on his knees is Aish, and he's pretty battered and bruised, but if this kick doesn't go through for McEntee, he can look back on that as potentially a game-winning play. The kick from McEntee is pushed towards the right, so at the end of it, the chase from Aish might have made a massive difference. Less than a minute and a half to play. 8 points a ball game, so you would think Bay of Plenty have it wrapped up. It's just a question of how close will Otago make it. Lots of points on offer. Lots of tries being scored by plenty of different try scorers as well. I think the entire backline for both teams nearly has gone over, will it?
Yeah, Manuika had Oscar Anderson chasing up on the inside, and I thought maybe for a moment he may have passed to him because of the importance of trying to score as close to the post and make the kick as easy as possible to try and get it to 6, but 8 points, a little bit difficult now.
Now dancing Messina across field. The offload goes to ground, and had it been caught, you sense that Tuimana might have had some space down that edge, and I think that might have been a directive from the players there for Bay of Plenty, just telling Leovai to hold the left calf. Play on is the call from referee Parkinson. So, clock winding down. Bay of Plenty have it. They've got the 8-point lead. Win number 1 imminent for them in the 2024 NZRL Men's Premiership as the siren sounds. Ashford says, that's enough for us, fellas. He might just stay down there for a few minutes as well, Blake Ashford. Parkinson blows the whistle. And Bay of Plenty have the win over Otago at Puketewhero Park. 38 points to 30. They get the job done, Willie.
Yeah, win number 1 and well-deserved. Not a lot of defence shown today, as almost 70 points scored in the game. But some wonderful tries from both sides. And Bay of Plenty well-deserved winners, as I said, to pick up their first win of the season.
Well, last week they weren't able to tip up the Vulcans despite having a good position in the game at 50 minutes. What was different for them this week, Willie?
Yeah, they played for a bit longer. We spoke about the importance at that 50-minute mark. About that was the point of the game last week where they stopped playing, where the Vulcans took over. And it wasn't a complete 80-minute performance, but they went a little bit closer to getting that this afternoon against a spirited Otago side. I'll give them that. And full credit to Otago. There's a lot of players within their squad that are dual code. They mix rugby league with rugby union. There's some experience in there. There's some students in there. But they're growing. It's great to see Otago in this competition, and great to see Bay of Plenty pick up the win at home this afternoon.
Well, close at the half-time break and close at the end as well. Let's have a look back on the second 40.
Yeah, Blake Ashford was really, really important. As I said, showed a lot of experience this afternoon. And there's a lot between the ears of when to play and how to play at different moments. And he knew when not to offload, when to skip out from dummy half, when to draw the right defenders to set up that all-important try.
Well, the defensive structure for Bay of Plenty held strong for most of the match. It was the off-the-cuff play from Otago that really exploited them when they got the opportunity. And you see here that the play on tackle 5, which went all the way out to the right, back to the left, through the middle. Passes going all over the place. And Makusia, who was caught close to the line, got the arms free. And finally, they found some points through Whanua, just pulling the Bay of Plenty defence left to right.
And then Bay of Plenty attacking the goal line. They tried to go wide, cut out that man, Matotia, the captain, who finds himself in dummy half in the next play. Takes him on down the short side, really strong. Finds an offload for Tetavano to get his try for the afternoon.
And it was really at this point you thought the game in the balance in terms of who scored next. Bay of Plenty, though, had all the momentum, and Matautia, who went over for try number 2, and that left edge continuing to do the damage.
And they gave themselves a chance late on. It was a nice kick from McEntee. The old legs of Ashford couldn't quite get to the ball in time, but he had enough about him attacking wise. And they come down, a well-taken ball for Manuika to race down the other end of the field, go 80 metres. And as I mentioned, Blake Ashford, smarts, experience, awareness to try and make him score that try as far out as possible. And that made a big difference in the end.
Well, standout for Bay of Plenty this afternoon, the captain, Tony Matautia, and he is down on the sideline now.
Feels good, that's for sure. It was a tough first 2 weeks, that's for sure.
Well, Tony, first win at this level, how good does that feel?
Yeah, it feels great, bro. Yeah, no, I think last week we spoke about us slowly getting better and better. I think this is the closest we've gotten to an 80-minute performance. Still a few lapses here and there, but that's a good work on.
You held on there. I mean, they had pressure on your line a few times, but then whenever they scored, you responded.
Yeah. I think a few capitalising errors and stuff like that. They really gave it to us. But yeah, too many piggybacks in those areas, and that's what hurts us against those Auckland teams as well. So we need to fix that pretty quickly.
And we ran out of interchange with about 6 minutes to go, mate. Our boys are breathing deep.
Yeah. No, there's a few of the boys going around and get, I'm stuffed. But no, it's a pretty proud effort from the boys to stay in there, because like you said, they were coming back pretty hot, and yeah, I'm pretty proud of the boys for staying in it.
Well, it was a great game to watch, and congratulations on this first win, man.
Yeah, thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
Well, Bay of Plenty next week take on the Falcons. It's another tough contest for them in week 4 of the NZR National Men's Premiership. The Falcons, who are 1-2, same record as Bay of Plenty. Let's hear, though, from the Otago captain down on the sideline now.
You know the drill. Come forward a bit, man. That's good, mate. That's good. Well, Jordan, disappointing game. Your thoughts on the game?
Pretty disappointed, to be honest. We come up with high expectations. I thought we were going to get the win, but yeah, credit to them, they played well, and we just made too many errors. Yeah,
exactly that. I mean, you had chances on their line, but drop passes, just missed opportunities.
Yeah, it just wasn't quite there today. We've been not too bad the last 2 weeks, but yeah, not there today.
And next week up a tough one against the Vulcans. Just go away and prepare for that.
Yeah, get some good trainings in, and hopefully can flip this result. Yeah.
I'll have a good, enjoyable, disappointing trip back to Otago, mate.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Oh, yep, as mentioned there by Fred, Otago up against Auckland next week. The Vulcans flying high at the top of the competition. That will be a tough fixture for Otago to try and bounce back from. But they will take some out of today to try and move that forward next week. Here is the other fixtures on across the weekend. Just the one left this weekend, with the Vulcans playing Waikato later on today. Vulcans looking to join counties at the top of the ladder with 3 wins from their first 3 games. And the table as it stands, Bay of Plenty just inching forward 1 spot, just behind the Falcons, who have got a pretty positive, a close points differential despite only winning 1 game so far through the competition. As I mentioned, the Vulcans and Waikato 2:30 today. Live on Sky Sport 4, and the Waikato team now at the bottom of the ladder, winless, and you'd think potentially much of the same. This one potentially could get ugly, Willie, with the Vulcans flying high.
They are flying high, and they want to hold on to that top 2 spot. As you mentioned earlier in the commentary, the importance of finishing the top 2. It's a top 2 finals format for this, so they want to put themselves in that position, especially with Counties Manukau winning against Hakarana yesterday. So they want to go 3 for 3 and really put Waikato to the sword this afternoon.
Well, Otago going down to the Bay of Plenty Lakers at Puketewhero Park. The Lakers' first win of the 2024 season. They take the points, 38 points to 30, 68 points across the match, high scoring. And the Lakers, they get their first win of the 2024 season.